Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Nix in Serbia, and I can't wait to share with you all the details about grocery shopping and how I am navigating the change in food for myself and the family, of course. And I wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to be posting 2 extra times within the week. I'm going to be posting now going forward on Wednesdays. Wednesday's going to be like a business shout out. So it's going to be businesses where I've gone that I actually had a great experience that I want to share with my subscribers and fellow expats who are also coming here. So I'm going to share whether they're English speaking or if they're Serbian speaking, but they're helpful, or if the food was fantastic or the service was great. I really want to share that with you because I am always on the road. Like, I honestly came to Serbia to get a more relaxed life, and I am 100% more relaxed. But my kids have sports now 7 days a week, and I'm driving in to the city every single day, about 40 minutes, and then some nights I'm getting home at like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm leaving my house at like 8 a.m. in the morning. Anyways, I'm off. I do that a lot. I'm off topic. Okay. I want to talk to you guys about my grocery shopping experiences, my ups, my downs, my hurdles. Let's get into it. Oh, let me tell you about these carts. How could I forget? Please demonstrate these carts. So all of us hate these IKEA carts back home. Well, these are them. And it's not just here. It's every single store. Slide to the side. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. I also need to add that if you haven't added me on Instagram, that's my Instagram name, I'm going to periodically do lives where you can come on and ask me questions because I see a lot of questions in the comments and I don't always get a chance to get back to everybody. I'm very sorry if I haven't gone back to you, but a live would be a great way to interact with you all, and I look forward to doing that with you. Okay, let's go. Okay, so when I was younger, I was a cashier in a grocery store. I think so many of us in North America start out as cashiers, especially from what I know in Canada. It's really popular because you can start at like 15 years old, which is much younger than some of the other jobs. Anyways, as a cashier in a grocery store, you have to memorize every single produce, fruits, and veggies code that there is under the sun. But if you don't have them memorized, you have a dial that you can kind of scroll through and look at. But you don't want to be that one because then you're going to have a crazy lineup. People are going to be frustrated with you. You learn it. You learn it fairly quickly. And you're standing on your feet for like 8, 10 hours, depends on your shift. My first experience in the grocery store here, I went into the produce section, grabbed my bags, threw my fruits and veggies into that bag, threw it into the cart. Now, Serbs are already thinking, I know where she went wrong. I just left the produce section. I had no idea that, and this is not all grocery stores, but this is like from what I've seen, like 98% of them, you actually have to get your produce scanned in the produce section. Okay, so something totally different here. When you're getting your produce, you actually have to go over to somebody in the produce section and get them to tag it. And in some grocery stores, you actually have to punch in the code yourself and tag it yourself. If you bring your produce straight up to the cash like we did first couple of times, you actually either leave without your produce or you leave the line and you kind of start over again. So you're going to want to make sure that you don't do that and you actually go and get your stuff tagged. I'll take you through that process. So instead of the cashier actually having to know all the codes here, the people in the produce department do it, and that's solely their job. I think that should be a thing in Canada. So I didn't do that my first time around, and I just went up to the cash and ended up having to either abandon my fruits and veggies or run through the grocery store, try to get it weighed. Which one do you think I did? I abandoned it. Not gonna embarrass myself. I don't even speak the language, let alone holding up a lineup of people when I should have just did what was supposed to be done. I just had no idea. So I'm making this video so you don't make the same mistake when you get here. What else I noticed, which is why I mentioned your 8 to 10 hour shift, is that the cashiers here, they sit. They are sitting in their space. They're not standing for 10 hours. They have a seat. In fact, when they want to stand up, they stand up and work. And when they want to sit, they sit and work. Cashiers here sit. They don't stand. They have 5 gums. Not the same. It's little cubes, but it's similar. I would have appreciated that so much. Not even when I was younger, but in Canada, there's so many people that I see that are elderly that take up being a cashier, and they're standing and they're leaning and they're holding on to things. Why can't they sit? Let's move on. So everything here is new. I am always trying to find things that I can make dinners like I did back home similar. The biggest challenge is when I'm looking at these different, let's say, spices or jars of something. I either need to go and ask my husband to translate it, or I have to take out my Google Lens and like hold it over and take a picture, and it's kind of embarrassing. If it wasn't for my Serbian husband, I don't even know how I would buy things. So I think this is cream. Let me just confirm with him. Babe, is this cooking cream?
Yeah.
Perfect. See, what would I do without him? So grocery shopping is taking me a bit longer than what it would have in Canada, but this girl's getting the hang of it. I'm getting pretty good. And another weird, but something I should probably share. There's no Bounty paper towel, guys. If you know, you know. The strongest paper towel that ever did exist. May it rest in peace, because it's just not here. I miss it so much. And it's so funny that every expat who I talk to who is from Canada, I'm like, how about that Bounty? And they're like, oh my God, I want Bounty. In fact, I even spoke with someone whose parents bring in like a shit ton of Bounty to use throughout the year. When they go back and forth to Canada, they load up. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Another thing I'm definitely missing is that Kirkland toilet paper. Anybody else going through toilet paper rolls just like crazy here? So when we first got here, I was asking my kids if they were having some type of bowel issue. I'm like, why is the toilet paper rolls constantly in the garbage? And I feel like I'm buying toilet paper every few days. I get there's 5 of us, but I didn't have to buy toilet paper this frequently in Canada. Is everybody okay? And the answer to that is, first of all, it's like all 3-ply. It's thick. Second of all, there's just not as much on the roll as what we were used to in Canada, even in the US too. So you're going to buy toilet paper a lot more frequently than you ever thought you did. And you don't have to run your kids to the doctors. It's not a bowel problem. It's just the toilet paper is not wrapped as tightly. And, maybe that's a whole marketing scheme, or maybe they could just do better. Looking back at my life, being an adult, I'm like, I never could have imagined myself talking about toilet paper, paper towel, any of these things, produce on YouTube, And no young followers or subscribers are going to be interested in this, but people who are actually moving here, this is important stuff to know. Like toothpaste. I get here and I'm like, oh my God, familiar brands. Colgate, Sensodyne. Oh my God, I know these brands. I quickly just grab one of the brands I know, throw it in the cart, go home, brushing my teeth, and I'm like, this doesn't taste the same. Why is it burning my mouth? Why is it foaming up in my mouth really weird? Then I started heaving. I'm like, ugh, ugh. I know, crazy, but that's just how I am. And I ended up having to give that one to our tetka because I could not use it. So, yeah, good luck with the toothpaste. People are going to say, well, what toothpaste did you use? Well, you know, I could give you the one I used, but that might not be similar to what you used in North America or wherever you're coming from. So just be prepared that while you may see familiar names, it may not actually be the same as what you're used to. It's still going to be different. And Serbs, I thought you guys loved me. Why didn't you guys tell me about the pizzas sooner? I just went to my first pizza yesterday and my mind was blowing. I'm like, why have I been driving from grocery store to grocery store? I swear to God, one time I went to like 8 grocery stores looking for something in a produce section. 8. The pizzas have everything. Everything under the sun of produce that I could have been looking for and more. Butchers and some eggs and just even kitchen household stuff. Guys, why'd you hold out on me? Now, everybody else who's not a Serb, what's a pizza? It's a place that's, I don't know how to explain it really, other than like a farmer's market like what we had in Canada, but on a bigger scale with every single day fresh fruits and vegetables. Obviously, out of season, things are going to be imported and from like what's similar to our food terminal. But you're getting not only better pricing, you're supporting the small local businesses or the mom and pops who are there selling. And everything looked and tastes fresher. Even the butchers that were located in the pizzas, the meat was so much better. And the reality is they buy small amounts so that they don't have waste. So what they have, and when you purchase it, it's fresh. Where a grocery store will buy large amounts and try to maximize their best before dates. Totally different experience. When the pizzas are better in season, such as in the spring, I do plan to make a full video going through maybe 4 or 5 of them. All the way from Novi Sad to Belgrade, I want to visit all different ones so I can actually show the world what this looks like, because I honestly had no idea. Like, I was in there and I probably looked like a kid in the candy store. I was like, oh my God, and oh, they have that. I want that. So yeah, it needs to be shared, especially for people that, you know, vegetarians or you're fasting for Easter. This is the spot. And I thought Super Vero was the spot. Like, Super Vero is my favorite. So here we are at Super Vero in Jumbo. I never felt like I was gonna find anywhere that was close to home in the way I felt when I was shopping. They have everything here. It's like a Walmart / dollar store, I guess you could say. And then the grocery store, if you're from Canada, I'd say it's like a Fortino's. If you're from the US, I guess it would be like a Publix. Not sure if Publix is everywhere, but Publix was one of my favorite stores when I was in Florida. So we're gonna go inside and take a look. Second to that would be Maxi. But I don't think I'm ever gonna buy produce again from either grocery store as long as I can get to a pizza. And another thing I'm trying to get used to here is that when you shop, you really shop for the day. And I always was shopping back in North America, you shop for the week. You try at least. You know, you are back and forth to a grocery store. But here, like, the fridges are much smaller. And the idea is you go to a pizza in the morning, grab what you need to make the food for the day, and then there's no waste. Do you know how many times I've bought carrots or celery or peppers to make something later in the week, and then something comes up and I don't make it later in the week and then it ends up going bad because I forget about it or more things come up. I love the idea of buying fresh daily. And I'm really going to try to get into the habit of that. The Serbs are great at going to a pekara, which is a bakery, buying fresh bread daily and going to a piazza and grabbing their fresh produce. And to me, that's a great way to live. Like, if there's a naysayer about that, what are you talking about? Like, there couldn't be a better way, in my opinion. I don't feel bloated from the bread. I feel amazing. Their canned foods here are through the roof expensive, which I think is fantastic. In Canada or North America, the canned food is the cheapest. So like a can of corn in Canada would cost you like, I guess like 60 cents to $1, maybe €1. Where here, I'm more like seeing €5 for a can of corn. And that's good. Why make these preservative junk foods, quick and easy foods, cheaper? Then people are going to buy it. Instead, get the wholesome things, which is fantastic for our family. Milk. It's like 2.8% or something like that. In North America, we have like skim milk, 1% milk, 2% milk, homo milk. Here there's 1% of milk. That's it. 1. And I even Googled, like, can I water this down? Because this is really creamy. No, I just started drinking the really creamy stuff and got used to it. Just like the sour cream. I was like, 20%? I don't think I've ever seen 20% before. And I realized that in Canada, I believe we're 15%, which isn't that far off. So I figured, let me get maybe the diet one, the light one, which is 12% here, because that's probably going to be more similar to what we're used to. Or maybe I'm even mixing that up. Maybe the diet light one here is 15% and we're used to 12%. Regardless, tried the light one. You gotta have all that fat. You gotta have it all. And let me tell you, it is really good sour cream here. So you're gonna have to just take it for what it is. Now, speaking of sour cream, in Canada, one of our staple meals, at least twice a month, was pierogies. Now, I've learned that this is called vareniki in Ukrainian Russian, and there's also pelemini. Now, neither of those I'm probably saying correctly. Anyways, in Canada we call them pierogies. I was sure when I came here that pierogies were going to be very easily obtained because they're coming from Europe in the first place. And I'm like, you know, such similar cultures. Serbs love potatoes, they love cheese, and they love pastry style things. I'm sure there's pierogies. Nope. But thankfully, I was able to have a recommendation from somebody in a Facebook group who's pointed me to a Ukrainian who's here that is making like homemade pierogies like this woman's grandmother would, she said. I picked them up on Tuesday. I will take a video of myself making them, eating them, and if they're great and you're also looking for pierogies, hit me up. I'm no pierogi dealer, but I can help you out. I'm going to help you find where you can get these pierogies and also help this small business, because if their pierogies are something to write home about, I want everybody to know. Story time. Okay, so when we were here in the summer, we were going to see a friend. Now in Serbia, you never go to someone's house empty-handed, okay? Like, you just don't. You bring something. If it's the first time you're going to their home, you bring something. And if any time after that they're making you food or something, you bring them something. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. I know, I do that a lot. Okay, so in the summer we were here. We're going to see one of my husband's friends, and we decide we're going to bring him like a bottle of Jack Daniels. And my husband's like, Google where the liquor store is. This is good. So I'm like, okay, so I'm sitting on the phone Googling liquor store and I'm having such a hard time finding it. And I'm like, why? Like, we're in Belgrade right now. Why am I having such a hard time finding a liquor store? Finally, it gets me to the store and we go in. Well, my husband goes in. I stay in the car. He comes out and I'm like, so did it have like a lot of alcohol? He's like, I don't know. It had like everything there. Fast forward. All the grocery stores sell alcohol. We were driving around for like 15 minutes looking for a store that sold alcohol. All the grocery stores sell alcohol. So if you're here, don't waste your time making the same mistake that I did, especially if you're coming from Canada. I know in Ontario we have the LCBO, and you just have to go to these particular stores that are run by the government in order to buy alcohol. And now some grocery stores are getting alcohol in Canada, but it's still not all of them. So you can buy alcohol just about everywhere here. You don't need to Google where to go. I don't know if there's specialty stores. I'm sure there are, but I didn't need anything special. I was just looking for a bottle of Jack's. Fish, I'm having a hard time finding fish that I like. The salmon just doesn't taste like what I'm used to. I heard there's like a rainbow trout salmon steak or something like that, and that's really good, so I plan to try that. But like, not being able to get some fish it's sad, but I'm gonna have to go to Greece to get it. For example, some things that you can't get, like I haven't been able to find haddock. Finding lobster's been difficult. Metro is similar to like I guess like our Costco, and they actually have a lobster that's from Canada sold in the salt water. I haven't tried it yet. I do want to try it. I haven't found crab legs yet. What else? Cheese curds. Man, what I would do for some cheese curds. My Canadians, you know what I want. I want poutine. I want the fries with the gravy and the cheese curds. Oh my goodness, I'm missing it like crazy. Relish. I haven't been able to find relish anywhere in this country. And I find that so odd because tartar sauce is very popular here. There's relish in tartar sauce. Why can I not find relish? I just want relish. I want relish so I can make this sauce that I put in my burgers. I've looked high and low. If any of you know where I can get it from, I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, anything else I think of, I will share as I'm looking for it. I'll share it on my Instagram so that maybe you guys could point me in the right direction, because the Serbs are ever so helpful. And I know that if you know where I can get something from, you're going to share it. And as always, it's a pleasure. And I can't wait to talk to you guys now 3 times a week. Next week, my family will be on shooting, and they have a bunch of updates and information. And if you have any particular questions that you would like answered next week by the family, you can drop it in the comments below, or you can shoot me a message through Instagram or on my email, and I'd be happy to have them address those questions in next week's video. As always, vidimo se, zdravo, ciao. This is the deli section. My favorite section, Coca-Cola. By the way, it's cheaper here, guys. Do you remember when these were a thing? And everybody had one? It was like you weren't the one if you didn't have this in your mouth already and going to a party.